Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are in the world. So this is day 2 of me showing up and sharing what's on my heart and making a long form, right? Because I am used to showing up pretty consistently, and whenever I'm inspired, I'm no longer falling into this because it could be a trap, like falling into like this rigidity of like, oh, it has to be every day at this hour in this way, and all these things have to be set up for it to work. I'm like, no, I'm breaking away from all of that, because that also many times gets us in this like once something goes wrong, or we're not able to do it, or we don't commit, and then we just give up. Like it's an excuse. It's almost like setting ourselves up to then, with a diet or something new, a new habit. It's like setting us up for failure in a way. And even though failure in itself is something that I no longer truly find in anything, but it's this idea that we can just stop doing something that we commit to because we create expectations that, life happens. And the expectation should be that we should be flexible. The expectation would be to be discerning about like what's most helpful in this moment, instead of carrying a weight of I should have, or I didn't, and now I've messed everything up, and allowing the ego to come in and guilt us, and also not only guilt us, but then take us away from the new habit or any new step, new decision, intention, practice that we're trying to do. And so this is one that's important for me, and I'm committed, but I'm committed to the flexibility. I'm committed to showing up in a way that works for me, but in a way that also is very aware of all the sabotaging doubt thoughts that can come up, so that I don't end up recording, so that I don't end up, doing, besides like just the self-doubt, right, that comes up, like, oh, do I look right? I don't know, should I put makeup on for this video? And maybe I will sometime, not specifically for the video, but if my day I feel inspired to put makeup on, or wherever I'm going, or whatever the case may be, and I make a video, I'll have it with makeup. But like today, and like the first video, it's just not the reality, and I'm not going to step out of my reality or like my regular day to get ready for this and then take extra time away from actually me just showing up as me. I want makeup, like anything, to add to the experience, to just be a part of it, not something that I become dependent upon. That if I don't have that, or if I don't look a certain way. So really, it's like me showing up here like this is me freeing myself from all of those things and watching my mind. So it's like a mind training. You're joining me in a mind training. And I invite you to also join in this mind training. It's crazy because I didn't even come to speak about this, but this is what's coming through. Yeah, because just coming on to a screen and sharing where you're at, what you're doing, if it's something that inspires you, it's something you feel called to, right? This is not for everybody. And if it is, then using it as a vehicle to watch your mind, to see the things that come up, to really observe how the ego works and all the things that come up to sabotage you in efforts to, on the surface, or like seemingly keep you safe, right? But it's a different safety that we had, or that we interpreted we needed when we were young, right? And ultimately, the Course in Miracles, it's like, it's a safety that comes, it's this idea of keeping yourself safe with what you know, and what we know is the world we created. And so we don't want change to happen, and we don't want expansion specifically, not just change. But the ego, when I say we, I mean like the ego doesn't want that expansion to happen. That because when you expand, your light shines further, right? You have less blockages. You've released blockages. You've healed. You've forgiven. And forgiven, not just in the way that we know it, right? Like, it's like this acceptance. It's forgiveness is like this radical acceptance of what is. It has nothing to do with me being, holier than thou and you doing something wrong and me forgiving you. Or no, that's not the forgiveness of the Course. It's actually forgiving for what has not happened, because we understand that this is all an illusion, that this is a movie and we're on the screen. And if we step back, we can actually step into like spirit vision, into this whatever is, this non-judgment space, right? This resting awareness. And it's in there lies forgiveness. Once we step into that, once we make that our deepest desire to truly see things as they are and not put our judgment upon it, our past concepts upon it. So that's a little bit of A Course in Miracles in there, which is huge for me in my journey. And like I said, I have a group that we meet online, actually, a Miracle Mind meetup. So if you guys were ever interested in joining, or if you follow the Course, you've been with the Course, or a student of the Course and would like to have a group online to join and realign, to always bring back, we do it weekly on Wednesdays. I'll put the information in the description area. But yes, so back to this, like showing up and using this as mind training, right? Which is another term actually in the Course. By the way, the Course in Miracles is a spiritual text for all of you guys that don't know. It's a psychotherapeutic spiritual text, and it's a self-study course, but it really just retranslates our relationship with the divine completely. And it's changed my life completely. So maybe one day I'll do a video specific to that and what it is. And of course, for those of you who are with the Course or have heard of it, of course, the Course, I just said that, you know what the Course is about, but it's thankfully being spoken about more, and it's reaching people all over the world, because it's a channeled work that needs to be heard, right? It is, like my mom says, the lost teachings of Jesus, but really it's just the lost teachings of love, or the clarifications of all the misunderstandings of love and what we truly are and what God truly is. And to take that further, to know what we truly are and experience that peace that God is and that God provides us within us, we have to be aware of the blockages. We have to know what to release. And if we aren't aware of the blockages, we can't release them to then be able to access the peace that's already within us, the love that's already like a fountain waiting to, spurt out and just run and run and run. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I have a lot of thoughts in my mind right now. Talk about mind watching. So it's kind of like this, right? Metaphorically speaking, the whole path is kind of like this. I'm coming on here, I'm showing up, I'm joining with you, I'm also putting my story out there, putting myself out there. And at the same time, I'm becoming aware of the blocks that are coming up as I try to do this, as I choose to do this, as I step into this. And the more I show up, so all those blocks, I can't really truly do, it's like you have to do it to then see the blocks that'll come up. And same thing with the spiritual journey. Like you have to step into it to then learn the tools and begin to see all the blockages that come up when you begin to expand your light, when you choose to heal. So, because that's like the biggest resistances will come up. And again and again, you face them, you move through them, you feel them, and you release them over. So, yeah. What was the topic I wanted? Yes. I was talking with a friend yesterday, and I can't be here actually too long. I gotta go. But I'll say this and then leave you guys with that. And she was talking about, relationships and how, specifically with like finding a partner and wanting more like a sacred partnership, a true partnership, a divinely guided partnership versus just whatever she's had in the past and she's attracted. And, that we all know most, if not all, of our deep, crazy attraction is coming from our wounded self, right? It's trauma based. It's trauma attraction. And it doesn't make it wrong. It is what's happening within us. And then we attract a partner, and that partner then will mirror things and bring out things in us that we need to see and heal, right? Because we're projections. We are in this illusory sort of matrix, right? That where those who walk into our life are thoughts that are of ourselves, and they are helping us see our own thoughts. They are helping us shine a light on our own beliefs. Yeah, 11:11, as I said that. And so just doing this, you're helping me shine a light on my own beliefs as I step into this. You see how it's like all connected? And so she's talking about that, and, and she's like, because I'm just tired of thinking I'm going to meet someone, and then, and I had a angel card reading, and they said, you're going to have someone who's going to be, and she's just like, they keep saying that, and no one's showing up, and I'd rather just believe it's not going to happen. And because, there's like this sign, there's like this intensity that's I'm like expecting, or, like it's coming, and I'm working for it. And in my mind, as soon as she said that, I remembered the phrase, because the phrase, whatever you resist persists, right? When you resist something, it keeps coming towards you. And then, but actually the insight was like the opposite is just as true. So whatever we insist or persist will actually resist us, right? So whatever we persist resists us, because we're going for it like as if life cannot continue without this thing. When we believe there's something outside of us, and we persist in getting it and in getting it. And she got it. She was engaged, like she was there. We can absolutely persist and get it. The question is it for you? Is it what's meant to expand you? Is it what's meant to truly bring you the happiness and fulfillment that you deserve, that you want, versus just, I don't know, getting married to a really cute guy, and then, in her case, finding out that there was a deep level of alcoholism involved, and dependency, and, really dark, unhealed energy that, she was getting herself into, because she had fallen for this guy, and yes, they were attracted to each other, and yes, they had things in common, and yet there were so many signs of what was not for her. But she had come from past wounds, and there's the whole thing like, oh, but when am I going to find, I'm already this age, am I going to find a person? In the end, I met her right when she was like facing that, and she was so brave to choose herself. And so now she's in this space where she's opening herself for a divine relationship, and she's been healing what is showing up for her, her wounds, and whatever it is. Like we see things that trigger us, we see things that sadden us, and then we look at that and we work on our shadows. And so doing that with her, I thought, like, interesting, right? Like whatever we persist also resists us. So what's the message here? We really do have to confide in life. Like there has to be a deep trust in that what is for you will show up for you. It does not mean you don't act, right? That's just another egoic thought. Take it to the extreme, right? Make it black and white. Oh, I just have to relax and not do anything. Yeah, mainly. But that doesn't mean you don't act from an inspired place. You don't do the things that come up in the day and take care of them, and and bring your awareness to that. That's not it. It doesn't mean you stop like functioning as a human being. You do, and yet you're doing it from a place of rest, right? You do the next inspired thing. And if there's something on your heart that you really want, which would be the thing that we would naturally persist. And it's not only persisting in action, but also persisting in the mind, like always thinking about it, always wondering whenever you go to a place, oh my God, am I going to meet the person here? I know this. Am I going to, is this the person? Or, oh my God, look, there's someone who's nice looking and they're spiritual, whatever, because that's where I am now. Maybe there's, and the mind, the pattern just takes you there. Look outside yourself. And also don't live the moment, right? Like go into a story, go into your mind about possibilities instead of just being present and grateful. And yes, there's this person, acknowledge that they look the way they look and let it be what it's going to be, and show up to be truly helpful in that moment, to shine your light to whoever needs it, whether it's that person or it's actually maybe you're there to shine a light to someone else. And you're focused on this one person that looks attractive to notice you, and that's what you're persisting on, and you're missing giving a blessing to someone else who's waiting for your blessing and waiting for your light in that same room. And that's what we do. We block ourselves from these miracles, from these situations, because we're persisting on something, right? And the more we persist it, we're actually resisting it. So the invitation to myself, because when we talk here and we share things, it's always to ourselves first. The invitation is not to persist, it's to release, it's to trust. It's to trust the unfolding and to come into each moment with joy and surprise and curiosity, and bringing a helpful heart to whatever is meant for you. Who am I to talk to? Who am I to bless? Who am I to show up for? And then let it be. Let it be again and again. And if we forget and we catch ourselves in a reactive pattern, boom, maybe catch a phrase, in the Course in Miracles is, I am here only to be truly helpful. That's been a phrase that for me specifically, with like finding something that's attractive, or or someone, or in a relationship, like going down that path, even if it's just mentally, it's so crazy. Most of it for us is mental. And so it's like freeing ourselves from these ideas and saying, I'm here only to be truly helpful, to be guided towards whatever is supposed to show up here, and to be who I am, to be true to what I'm living now, to be authentic. Because if I can't be myself, how can I find the people who are looking for me, right? Be yourself so that those who are looking for you can find you, so that those who are at your frequency can meet you there. But if you're worried about what other people think, then you're blocking your own true self from showing up and being authentic. And then your potential relationships and situations and events and things in your life that could, just bring so much joy, because we're worried here about what that person thought maybe this, or, and therefore all this potentiality of joy and friendship and companionship and union and community, whatever it may be, has been blocked off. So yeah, the invitation's to be you, watch your mind, stay true to what's coming up for you, and release the things that are important to you. It's not about denying them, right? I've definitely learned this. Like, it's not about denying, like, oh, okay, no, it's not spiritual, or it's not thing, and not spiritual, but like, it's not smart, it's not effective, it's not to want somebody and persist. But it's not that. It's not about that. You can absolutely have that desire, and that you don't have to judge that, but we can release it over and trust that what we desire is a limited perspective on something that's so much bigger, that's for us, that's here to give us and bring us happiness. And if we just trust and sit back and live our day to day and show up as who we are, and watch our mind as we do it. And like, we will experience miracles in different aspects. And those miracles many times are not in things that happen in the world. They can be, but they are in our mind, in like a state of peace, a way of not reacting to something I used to always be triggered, right? In having a sudden flow of gratitude from the heart, in showing up differently. It's all of that. It's all of that. So yes, let's do that. Let's remind each other. And if you made it this far, let me think of something. I'm wearing blue. Maybe you can leave me a blue butterfly in the comments. And, let me know if there's something that, stuck out for you or you resonated with, and what part of this, resonates, because it's always helpful to see, those who are connecting with me on here. What are you going through? What's showing up for you? Because we're in this together. And putting it out there, and maybe even having resistance to comment. This is all part of the training. Watch the resistance that comes up to share a happy thought, to connect with others. Yeah, this is truly what we want. We want love. We want connection. We want belonging, because that is who we are. And so taking little steps towards that, and then noticing where we persist, noticing where we resist, and when we have doubts, all that good stuff. So now it's my time to go. Thank you so much for joining me here. Today was the sacred space was the car. And I just feel thankful. And I'm also thankful to myself for showing up again and doing this, because I know it lights up my heart. And yeah, it's just an unfolding day to day. So bless you all. Have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and we'll see each other in the next video.